Hi guys, how are you? Hi guys, how are you today? Okay, so today we're going to talk about DL Hughley's response to what Monique said yesterday. Even though he said he was done talking about it, he talked about it again. And then we're going to talk about Monique going on just a couple, like a half hour ago, responding to that. But the reason that I'm late is I was having trouble downloading Monique's version. So we're going to see it's really low. So I'm going to play it the best that I can, but I had to go on. The other one that I downloaded, the file corrupted. So we're going to listen to that. And then we're going to talk about Jada Pinkett trying to save her marriage. And this is going to be the longest video ever because we have to hear in their own words the things that they're saying. I think it would be better than paraphrasing. So let me bring up the panel. Hey, Diva.
Hey.
You catching up on Monique? Hey, Jerry.
What's up, everybody?
I don't even know who to talk about first because this is going to be long. This is long because I'm going to play DL. Let's start with Jada Pinkett first since she's the shortest. Jada Pinkett Smith. Oh my God.
I know.
Yeah, it's a mess. So when the last video I did about them was that Will Smith wanted to save his marriage and she wasn't talking to him. And he was over in therapy and getting help. And he's going through a lot because he wanted to save his marriage. And then he had to deal with all the humiliation. And it's just a lot. Okay. Was this a month later? Was it like a month ago I did that video? A month later, the tables have turned. She's been getting therapy and getting stronger and stronger. And when she didn't reach out to him and talk to him and console him, that's the word I'm looking for, in his time of need. Hold on, my banner. Thank you.
What she getting is more trifling. That's what you mean to say. I mean, who's she fooling?
Well, okay, so listen. So when she realized that Will was getting stronger and stronger and wanted out, he changed his mind that he wanted out the relationship. I think I did a video about that. Now, Jada feels that she wants to save her marriage. Not only that, she came on the Red Table Talk. Was it today? Earlier today, talking about how she wants Will Smith and Chris to reconcile. So this is her way now of doing two things: supporting her husband, who she never supported before. And everybody was like, girl, where are you at? Remember, she went out the next day to another red carpet event as if nothing was happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So she does a red carpet video on alopecia, but she squeezes in there how she wants Will and Chris to talk it out. They're two good friends. You need to just talk this out. This is her way of supporting Will now. And catch what she says. And we're going to do this together as a married couple. Go ahead and listen to this. That girl's a manipulator. I can't.
Okay.
This is a really important red table talk on alopecia. Considering what I've been through with my own health and what happened at the Oscars, thousands have reached out to me with their stories. I'm using this moment to give our alopecia family an opportunity to talk about what it's like to have this condition and to inform people about what alopecia actually is. Now, about Oscar night, my deepest hope is that these two intelligent, capable men have an opportunity to heal, talk this out, and reconcile. The state of the world today, we need them both. And we all actually need one another more than ever. Until then, Will and I are continuing to do what we have done for the last 28 years, and that's keep figuring out this thing called life together. Thank you for listening.
Did it look like she was crying to you? Or am I being ridiculous?
They figuring out life together. They figuring out life together while she over here at the Red Table Talk and he over there in a different country. Look,
Yeah, but now she knows he's getting stronger. He's getting help. Now, oh, we're gonna do this together. We're one. We're a team. Well, if you don't divorce her ass, I will. I will go over there. It's ridiculous. Jada Pinkett is the biggest narcissist on the planet, besides Amber Heard. That's right, you guys. We're gonna talk about that in a separate video after this one. She's
hey, but
narcissist.
do you think why she's starting to have why she
Change her
made
heart.
that U-turn to start to act like she can? Is it because she's starting to face reality that if they got a divorce, nobody wants a used car unless Will is the driver? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Diva, you're in charge of Perry today.
some people just want like an emblem, like a signed autograph from an actor or somebody. Can I get your autograph? Can I get this? Can I borrow your wife? See, these are claim to fame items, right? If she's no longer with him, who else gonna want her like that? I mean, because
I think
should I hit the button? Should I hit the
yes,
button, Diva?
yes.
most people. No,
What are you talking about, Perry?
no. I'm saying a lot of people find a person under contract more attractive than a free agent. And if she's not with Will, do you think? Okay, let's keep it real. Do you think them other guys would have hit that?
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with Nano? Y'all are tripping. Like, what is wrong? What is y'all talking about?
You know what I think her problem is, Sharrell? She was so high on her horse, and he was always the one begging her to stay, right? Don't leave me. I want to work this marriage out. Now he's separated from her. He's out there getting the therapy he always needed. And and he's probably realizing, like, why am I subjecting myself to this woman who doesn't even want me? So he sent her the message like, I'm done. And now she begging, and she on the red, and she's still stupid. She don't got it right. Because if you want to hold this thing together, you should have been on a plane, and the red table should have been in Dubai or wherever he's at, and that's where you should have been doing your video, your red table talk from. She still don't get it.
She still don't get it. She still don't get it. Anyway, we'll talk about that a little later. That's what happened today, because we got to get to this long DL Hughley and Monique situation.
Yep.
Oh my God. Let's start with DL Hughley. So DL Hughley came on this morning, and I called Diva, and he broke it down as to a couple things. One is he told what really happened. His version of what really happened, which was Monique knew she wasn't a headliner, but she tried to force her way into position, show up late, thought we were going to send other people on. Let him break it down. Hold on. Let me pull this up because it's long. It's 5 minutes, and I have to break it up into sections. You got to hear him say it. If you ask me, he's got to be the one talking. But I'm going to pause it. And when you want, hold on. I'm going to pause it when I feel like we need to, when I want to say something, and you guys tell me to pause it if you want me to say something.
Okay.
Tell me if you can hear this.
I only work where I want to work and who I want to work for. I want to work with. I don't work because that is a very precious place.
Can you turn it up?
I can't.
I've been offered,
I don't know why it's so low.
A couple of gigs, 3 or 4 gigs to work with.
Hold on, let me see. Can you guys hear it? Can you hear it, Diva?
It's low, but I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Let me try it again. Let me re-download it as I'm talking to you guys. Okay, so we're going to tell you what he said. Basically, he said that Monique is, while I'm re-downloading this, is full of shit. That's basically what he's saying. Full of shit. And that she knew damn well she wasn't a headliner, and all of that stuff that she pulled, all that paperwork, she knew that wasn't legal paperwork. Let's see if I can turn this up. Let's see if we can turn this up, people. And she just is a trip and hard to work with her, and I won't never work with her again. And I'm with everybody else. Do not work with Monique. Let me try to. I'm downloading this again as I.
He set the record straight. I'm sure a lot of people probably seen it. It's been there.
I gotta show it again. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah,
because this was good. It was very good, and it just showed. And that's what me and Diva were talking about yesterday. you have to handle things professionally. But this is even worse than yesterday, because now he's saying that she lied about the whole thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Doing it for
Right.
attention, basically, is what he's saying. So let me let that download while I refresh. While it re-downloads. In the meantime, she comes on publicly, basically saying that there's more. The reason she was so upset with DL Hughley has more to do than that night. Okay, she was mad at him and Steve Harvey together. Now, explain this to us again, Diva. Oh, why? Go ahead, Diva. Do that while I'm downloading it. She said
So
that. Go ahead.
she had a long live, and she pretty much said that, he has a history, DL Hughley, of talking about her, right? She's saying he went on Ballad and he talked about me. She said when she came to his radio show to do a show, he wasn't there, but his people asked her a question about her husband, pretty much, trying to degrade him, saying, "Oh, would you rather?" It was a game called Would You Rather. And she said it was never aired because she spoke to DL Hughley and saying that, do you really want this to go on air? But the game was, would you rather? And they said, would you rather your husband sleep with Lee Daniels? I think they said with a condom and or with what's the girl that her name is they called her Superhead, or Corinne Steffens. Sleep with Corinne Steffens without a condom. And so she was very pissed about that. She said she got DL Hughley's number because he wasn't there that day. She called him and pretty much he was like, yo, that's what we do. It is what it is. So she has this combination of stuff as to why she was mad at him. But I'm going to give you, after you play this video, I'm going to give you my take on the whole thing. She thought she was saving herself in that video, but she kind of told on herself. So you went there mad and with an agenda.
Right.
Hold on, let me see.
Okay.
Let me see if you guys can hear this now. Let's hear
Okay.
his side of the story first. Hopefully this is louder. I'm having problems. It's just,
it turned black again?
not working. It just goes blank.
Because I remember watching it, and he was actually low on his end too, even from his YouTube channel. It was low.
What is happening?
You might be able to play the one that's low, Sharrell. They might be able to hear it. I was hearing it. It was just low.
I don't like it low.
I know.
Let me see if I could do it one more time. So low.
In Brooklyn, in Houston.
I can't hear that. Let me see if I can go to his channel. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, guys. I'm having technical difficulties on such a good video because people are in their feelings on both sides of the spectrum. Let's see. I don't understand why I'm having these troubles. Yeah, it's not. Can you hear that?
Hear what?
Mm-mm.
I don't know what's happening. We can't hear that.
No, that's even lower than before.
Okay, hold on, guys. All right, I don't know what to do. I don't know. It's not downloading. Let me see if I can play Monique's first and then work on DL Hughley's.
Okay.
Hold on. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. I'm having technical difficulties. Bad. Let's listen to Monique's first, if we can.
Okay.
Now, I want to address something else. And everything I'm saying, please find it out for yourself. I want to address something. When DL Hughley says, and then she brought in Steve Harvey. See, let me tell y'all something. This ain't new. I watched DL Hughley and Steve Harvey sit on his show and lie.
DL show.
On DL show and lie. I watched Steve Harvey say to DL, we had to edit the show because Monique was saying some crazy stuff and we had to protect her. And then DL says, yeah, man, you was just trying to protect her. And then Steve says, yeah, man, well, let me ask this question. When did they get into the black woman protection business? So that's why I said Steve Harvey that night. So that night, DL, what you got back was the medicine that you've dished out to our community for so long through the years. And I want to address what you're trying to make the show out to be. Detroit, I want to say thank you for that amazing night because it was amazing. And when DL says the people left disheartened and disappointed and they were ashamed and embarrassed, well, let's address that because I think it's only fair. From my understanding, Josh Adams kicked butt. From my understanding, Sister Ava Rodriguez kicked butt. Now, I can speak for me because I was there. When I walked out on that stage in Detroit, those beautiful people, they gave me a standing ovation.
What happened when you walked off?
Those beautiful people gave me a standing ovation. Now, what has happened in that moment, and this is for the comics who have so much to say. Come on, sweet babies, because this is Comedy 101. When you are the headliner, you have to meet the challenge. Regardless as to who goes in front of you and what is said, you have to meet the challenge. And what happened was when DL Hughley walked out on that stage, he could not meet the challenge. See, I've had to go up on stage after people have been booed. I got to go up on stage because I'm the headliner. I've had to go up on stage after people have talked ill about me in front of me. I still got to go up on that stage. And my job as the headliner is to make sure when that audience leaves, they leave feeling fulfilled. So because you could not step up to the challenge, DL Hughley, you have now made it appear as if the night was bad. And if y'all were paying attention, my babies,
But finish your thought. He made it appear as if the night was bad.
he made it appear as if the night was bad. Just your night was bad, DL.
Oh
Just your
my
nights
God.
were bad, DL.
Let me
And I
pause
need
it
to
here.
address
Let me pause it
something else.
here. Because she she read him for filth. Let me see if my thing can download now. She really did. So basically she's saying that they've been riding her for years. But here's the thing. If DL Hughley and you didn't get along and y'all had beef, why even do a gig with him?
Boom. Boom.
Okay. And then is the stage the place to resolve it? Now let
No.
me see if this is a little bit better with DL. I hope it is, because we've got to hear his side of the story. So she's saying
Very hard to control the environment I work in comedically. I only work where I want to work and who I want to work for. I want to work with. I don't work because that is a very precious place to me. I've been offered a gig, a couple of gigs, 3 or 4 gigs to work with Monique in LA, in Brooklyn, in Houston, and I turned them down because I didn't think it would work. So after talking to a lot of people, and one of the very people in this room about how things are different, 2 of the very people in this room, as a matter of fact, and how things are different, and look at how things are coming around, I decided it would be wrong for me not to give somebody a chance based on things that they'd never done to me.
And by the way, this is the uncut, unedited version. This is the only one I can get to upload with the sound long, where you can hear it. So he's saying, I didn't want to work with you against my will, my own wishes. People talked me into it. And now he's getting ready to explain his version of what happened.
Along with talking to people, I decided that I would do these gigs. I decided I would do it. And now I know what Tyler Perry knows. I know what Lee Daniels knows. I know what Oprah knows. I know what Steve Harvey knows. I know what Charlamagne the God knows. I know what Netflix knows. Saying yes to Monique is an occupational hazard. Now, we're playing a gig in Detroit this weekend. I know I'm going on at 9:45. I leave the hotel. I get there around 9. Monique had just gotten there. She's supposed to be there at 8:40. She had just gotten there, gone at 8:40. She got there at 8:38. What Monique was trying to do was to slow walk the show. She didn't end up getting on for 30 minutes. The oldest trick in the world is, if I want to change the order and I don't have merit, I'll try to make people wait so long that everybody gets nervous and go, please just go on so we can avoid a conflict. That didn't happen. Monique got on stage. Monique actually felt like she had merit. She would have done one of three things. Either she would have took it up with the promoter, and she did, and the promoter said, we're going on, and whether you're going or not, that's a different thing. You would have not done it, but she knew she had to get on stage, or she would have been in breach of contract, or she would have come to talk to me. She didn't ever, and I emphatically emphasize this, she never once talked to me. I haven't seen Monique in years. I didn't see her at the venue before, after, or during. I haven't spoken or seen Monique. So if you really thought that you had a legitimate contract dispute, you would have come to me and said, hey, I have this contract and you had this contract. Notice not one thing on that contract, not one person she has on that contract.
Yeah. Go ahead, Perry.
Why didn't she go to him? See, I mean, like,
these are two totally different stories. He's
right.
saying you tried to ambush your way into being the headliner. This is what he's saying. You showed up late thinking we'd send other people out on stage. You didn't come talk to me when you realized that you weren't the headliner. You're going crazy backstage. And she's saying
that she had a beef with him over the last 20 years. Okay. Look.
And let me reword what she's saying in a way that I think it'll make more sense. What she's saying is that you haven't liked me for years, and you're upset because I spoke up for myself. This is what I think she's saying. We'll go back to her tape in a minute. You're mad because I spoke up for myself, and you're not going to bully me. This is what she's trying to say in a roundabout way, but it was going on, and she kept insulting him.
It's two different stories, right? So at this point, he got his version. She got her version, just like in court. You're going to hear both sides of it. Which one has more logic, right? She said, basically, the whole fuss was about a contract. On her little promotion tour today, it was about how much hatred he had for her over the years. That's why she was so upset. And his was like, hey, you know what? He was going to show up at 9. He was going up on 9:45, right? Makes sense. 45-minute period. Why did she show up at 8:38?
This is the point. I want to keep playing this because he's going to say that she tried to sabotage him when she goes out and talks bad about him and knows that he has to go on right behind her. So let's hear that part, and then we'll go back to Monique.
Contract. Not one thing happened. Do you know why? Because it wasn't legitimate. And she goes on stage and she proceeds to eviscerate me. Not just me, but Steve Harvey, the sexual, my wife, my dog later on in subsequent conversation. Let me ask you something. What did any of that have to do with an alleged contract dispute? What did Steve Harvey have to do with your contract? What did I have to do with your contract? What did my dog have to do with your contract? What does my wife have to do with your contract? You wrote your contract, you and your daddy. You proceeded to say things that were so patently insulting that it was galling. It was galling. You asked in subsequent conversations why I have a dog, a support dog. What kind of person has a support dog? I have that dog because my father died. My children and family decided they would get a dog from where he was from, and I named the dog after my father. I don't have a dog to keep people away from me. I have a dog so I have my father with me all the time. That is an act of love, which you know very little about. You proceeded to assault my sexuality. You have the temerity to assault someone's sexuality, a man's sexuality, given who you lay next to?
Wow.
None of that.
It's just so bad. They're going at each other.
But that's my point, though. I mean, we heard her recap us from the last 20 years on how Steve, she named more people about how they treated her. The night of the contract, it wasn't about the rest of these people. And why wasn't it strictly about the contract? Like DL said, he has nothing to do with her damn contract. He wasn't a promoter.
I am not going to lie to y'all right now.
What?
This has gotten so dirty and so public. It makes both sides look bad.
It's
They're both
terrible.
arguing in public. Somebody is straight out lying. And I
Right.
got to get to the bottom of who it is. Somebody is flat out lying. These are two different stories. But I will say this, Monique did go out there, dragged him for filth, got the audience all hyped up. And then he goes on after that. That was professional. He could have dragged her back.
Right.
And she tried to make him look bad. I will say that. Now, did she have the right to do that? I'm confused because
Right.
they're going back and forth. Somebody's lying.
This is why I
Well,
disagree
here's
with
the
you.
problem, Sharrell. She said it in her live, right?
Mhm.
So if it's the contract, then let's deal with the contract. But now you're saying in your live, well, he went on Vlad and talked about me. He did me dirty when I came to his radio show, even though he wasn't there. But baby girl, you knew he was going to be at that show that night. Even if you didn't know he was going to be the headliner or not, you knew he was going to be at that show. Why go there? She said, I went there to drag his behind. And so that's the problem I'm having with her. You went there with an agenda. So was it really about the contract? Or did you go there with your agenda and that's what you did?
Now, I want to go over. I didn't get a chance to edit this, so I'm going to try to fast forward. She talks about him so bad in this very, very long.
But Sharrell, let me say this before you go back to it. Like, and this is where I disagree with you a little bit. You saying that it's making them both look bad. But what do he supposed to do when you got this person who went in front of you on the damn stage, who aired out all their, past grievances over the last 20 years and came at him a certain way, and then the next day keep going on with this phony story about how he, punked her for the contract. He had to defend himself.
Well, this is why I'm staying neutral at this point, is because she got that contract that she showed us from somewhere.
Right, from her husband, from daddy.
And it said that she was the headliner. So,
well,
it was the proposal. It was the proposal, Sharrell, that her company said, because she's a talent.
At some point, she thought she was headlining.
No, she thought she can weasel her way into headlining by showing up late to put the producers, like he said. At a certain point, they might say, hey, well, you know what? She's not here. I'm going to need you to go on out there. She tried to finagle her way into being the headliner.
She has a contract, whether it's legal, that like DL Hughley said it wasn't legal, whether it's legal or not, means it was discussed at some point that she would headline.
Was it approved, though?
No, maybe it didn't get approved, but I'm saying at some point in her head, she thought she was supposed to headline. Now,
well, let me ask you this, Sharrell. You want to know what's ironic? The headliner was going on at whatever time D. Hughley said, 9 something, right? Mm-hmm. She just happens to show up at 8:38. The time she was allegedly supposed to go on.
Yeah.
Why would you get there at that time when that wasn't your time anyway? You got there that time because, like he said, you was about to sabotage, and you knew if you wasn't there, you would have broke your contract. So you got there, and then you wanted to play games, and you wanted to do your whole phony shenanigans. Why not show up? She's been in this game for years. So I'm thinking if DL Hughley shows up at a certain time, because he's not going to sit there and watch those other comedians, right? He going to wait till it's close to his time, and then he showed up. But you happen to get there the time that you were supposed to go on.
Right now, I have to argue both ends of the conversation until we can, tell it's just plain on the table. And what I'm saying is Monique got that from somewhere that she was supposed to be a headliner. But I will say this, I got to play this, and hopefully I can skip through it. She didn't make it easy for herself by coming on. Now, the man's already mad.
Mm-hmm.
He's already mad, and you have already ruined that relationship. And obliterating him. If obliterating is a word, I might have made that up.
I don't know, but it fits the situation. It fits the situation. I don't think it's a word, though.
It's not helping the situation with your husband coming on, calling you a bold-faced liar, saying that you don't treat Black women well, stuff like that. Is stuff you can't undo. Bringing in other people. Steve Harvey was not there that night. If you had a problem with him in the past, it should have been dealt with in the past or on a different platform. Let me go ahead and see if I can catch some of these bad things because I didn't get a chance to edit it. So I'm going to
Because if
skip
you
through.
want to try to make me look
Stepped to her, and she stepped
And
back.
why is he here? He
Because-
drives me crazy.
You know why he's there? Because he's the one, Daddy the one got her thinking she was the headliner. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Did
he
you just
can't
call that
disappear.
man
Okay.
daddy?
Yeah, well, that's what she called.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. Like, we'll get to the good point with DL.
Let me see if I can get to some of the good parts of her just really calling DL out of his name.
Now that's the problem. If you notice throughout the years, what are the details associated with what makes Monique difficult? See, when they speak in generalities, it allows you to come up with your conclusion about how she was difficult, but they never go into the specifics. See, the specifics would be Monique has a problem with Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. Oprah Winfrey for multiple reasons. Besides the fact that as a black woman who privately said, and here's that word again, privately communicated to Monique and I that her position for not campaigning for an award was right and it was fair.
I'm going to try to speed up again. So
She probably read that damn contract.
They're still talking about it sounds like she still has a problem with Oprah Winfrey, to be quite honest. And she hasn't forgotten what happened to her. And she feels that DL Hughley is jumping on that train. So if I already have a problem with these people, and now you got a problem with me, you're just jumping on the bandwagon because you didn't have a problem with me when you invited me on your damn show.
I know, but it
to do the tour.
It sounds like she got a problem with society.
Hold on, Perry. Let me see if I can go on to get through him talking to her.
Memorandum of understanding.
Still talking. I'm going to fast forward.
So they're saying, I earned that position as headliner. Didn't nobody give it to me? I earned that position. You got a sister that's saying, listen, I'm, as DL Hughley would say, oh, she just selfish and thinking about herself. Anybody that's selfish, DL Hughley, would not take a 13-year hit in their career. See, if I was selfish, I would have taken the $500,000 that Tyler Perry tried to offer.
Now, I have to stop it here. She's saying she earned the right to be a headliner. That's not the problem. Everyone knows that you earned the right to be a headliner, Monique, but we're talking about the contract dispute.
See, no, I mean, she's saying she deserved the right to be a headliner for the hit she took. It sounded like she could have deserved if she was fighting for a right, like an activist. Right?
Oh, Perry. Oh,
No. I'm only saying this I'm saying, what do that have to do, the 13 years, with this damn contract?
Nothing.
Let me keep playing. I'm about to drop the link. What time is it? Because these people are going crazy in the chat. Let's hear a little bit more of Monique. I hope I can get to the part where she's just being disrespectful to DL at this time. And during this whole interview, it was so long. The only person she showed any respect to
was Daddy.
Okay, Daddy. What's the guy? Lee Daniels for apologizing, and 50 Cent. Everyone else sounds like she doesn't have a problem with Oprah. She sounds like she hates Steve Harvey and she hates DL Hughley. Hold on.
Be quiet about it.
To be quiet and make it go away. If I was selfish, DL Hughley, I would have had the conversation privately. See, I know the moment I say it out loud, I know the ridicule is coming. I know it's coming full force, but you know what? I don't care.
And when they say, we don't like the way they do business, why is it they don't get specific about what it is that we've done?
I'm going to fast forward because he's driving me crazy.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Also feels like
and that damn hat he got on bothering me.
Perry, stop.
But you see, Sharrell, somebody even wrote in the comments, it's not his fault if you didn't get your contract.
Yeah.
What was on the contract.
Yeah.
Why this promoter not talking?
Yeah. That's another question.
For her to do anything.
Shut up. I'm going to fast forward past him.
Because I want to address something.
Kick it.
And I want you black women to hear what this black man is saying. I gave Monique a chance. DL Hughley said he gave me a chance. Well, here would be the question. To do what? What did you give me a chance to do? You weren't the promoter. No monies came from you. Who are you that you would be giving me a chance? The arrogance that you could speak like that I gave her a chance to do what, DL? And then if you're going to tell it, please don't mislead people. DL and I were scheduled to do another show together. I want us to address it, and I want y'all to do your homework. If you remember the Super Bowl show that happened in LA, there was a time that DL Hughley was on that show. And then there was a time that he just wasn't.
But you were the what on that show?
Headliner. I was the headliner on that show. All these other times that he speaks about, it never came across our desk. So stop trying to pull the wool over the community's eyes.
What about this, Diva? She's also saying, I'm a headliner too. And you're trying to treat me like I'm not. We have to give her respect.
Okay, no.
But it's not him that's trying to treat her like that, Sharrell. It's the promoter.
Yeah.
And she just said it herself. Well, I mean, what would DL have to do with me? He's not the promoter. Mm-hmm. Right. And your issue is not with DL. It should be with the promoter.
Yeah.
And yes, Sharrell, people can headline at different times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Okay. If I got 5 superstars and 1 headliner, the other 4 can say, well, I was a headliner last, year at
you're talking about like the kings of comedy. They all were headliners in their own right. And she just feels like she has to have that title. I'm the headliner. And you're saying you would have went out there anyway, you said the best that you could and presented yourself as a headliner because you are a headliner within your own right, but so is DL Hughley.
It's not like the fight is between her ego and DL Hughley.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can fast forward a little bit more before I start taking calls. The audience is going crazy.
But when you get
I can't with him.
The promoter.
Oh, I'm trying to fast forward past him. Oh, and then it was dragging.
Began to call me, and I took it as an obligation
and an honor.
And
well, I'm going to stop it here. I don't know what happened, but that's the gist of it. It's complicated. So you heard both sides. Diva, are you still standing in your own position?
Listen, I'm neutral in the fact that this is a promoter issue. Mm-hmm. But she think that live, I think she did herself a disservice because you wasn't concentrating on the contract. You want to tell us how he went over Lad and talked about you. He talked about you here. And she said there is no videos out there with her talking about him. And she said she went there to give him his behind. She was going to hand him his behind when she got on that stage. That came out of her own mouth. So you went there with a beef. You went there with an agenda. So that's why you're not really focusing on the contract because the contract wasn't your issue. Your issue is you was pissed with him and you knew you was about to do the show with him. So you went there to settle a beef and you tried to settle it on the stage and you want to deflect us. You told us don't be fooled, but you trying to deflect us and tell us it's about the contract, but that doesn't seem what it appears to be.
Right. And just from that and then what DL was saying, her showing up at these certain times and stuff, it's almost like, she came with a beef, but to me, now I'm starting to form this opinion that she went there to punk him out of the headliner.
Yep.
Hi, Canelo. Daddy is Monique's downfall. Hey, Perry. Hey, Diva. Hey.
What's up?
I'm gonna bring up.
Happy birthday, Canelo.
Oh yeah,
happy birthday. Happy birthday, Canelo.
Happy birthday,
bring up
Canelo.
Queen. Okay, Queen, you were going hard yesterday for your girl Monique. What do you think about today when she came out and was just mean to DL? What are your thoughts today?
Thank you for having me. I still have that same energy from yesterday.
Oh,
get in line, respect the Black woman. She is not asking, she's demanding respect. And I looked at the net worth. She is actually 2 million over DL. He's at 11 and she's at 13. So with her being out of the game and still functioning, just imagine the money that she had been making if she was still in the scene.
But Queen, she mentioned today that she was upset with DL Hughley and Steve Harvey for a past interview they did. She didn't mention this yesterday, but why are we talking about this now? And why do you even sign up to work with DL Hughley if you don't like him?
Well, they had a conversation about her without her in the presence. She wasn't there to defend herself. So, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Huh?
Smoke. What are your thoughts
That's just
today?
my thoughts on that.
My thoughts on it is the same as Diva. I think the energy was misdirected, and honestly, especially since you've known DL as long, why not have a conversation where, like, I don't know what's going on with the schedule, but she could have pulled out her contract, be like, this says this, and he could have been like, well, I have this, and they both could have went to the direct source. So that way it could have been like, instead of them going ahead to be like, what game are you trying to pull here? Because she has something, I have something. So you need to clear this up now. Who is actually going on last? So I feel like it's just a bad game of telephone that happened between Monique and DL. But I personally don't agree with Monique eviscerating him on the stage like that. And especially like if you had an issue with him saying something about your husband, I'm like, why? I'm like, if someone has said something about my significant other, I don't care how much money you're offering me. I'm not getting on the stage, the riverboat, the stripper pole, wherever it is with you. I'm not doing that whatsoever. So the fact that she went there, she did this this tour with an agenda to get back at DL for something he said years ago. To me, it just seems like she has kind of just a bad attitude about, getting even and like being right all the time, to me.
I mean, Queen, I know you are 10 toes down for Monique, but did she have to do? She's acting like that DL is trying to silence her. I don't think he's silencing her. He's just saying not on the stage. Do you agree?
We have to ask ourselves, when is it going to be popular to stand up for the Black woman? When are we going to make that popular? When are we
Well,
going
maybe
to
when
stand up
you know
for the
what,
Black
Queen?
woman?
Maybe when it's a Black woman's issue. Maybe when it's a Black woman issue.
It is.
To me,
listen here, Perry. Let me tell you how. Listen, it's my issue. It's your wife's issue. It's Diva's issue. We're in media.
Sharrell ain't problematic.
No,
Sharrell's not problematic.
That was a contract issue. See, sometimes people take a couple things, an issue, and then bring in their own issues. Huh?
Go. Somebody
right for women is a right for women. We're not gonna dissect.
Men deserve rights too, though. I know. I get what you said, but men deserve rights too. So I'm not out here saying, let's protect men's rights. I think we looking at it in a different way. It was a contract issue.
Yeah.
Are men underpaid?
But you know what?
No, wait, hold on. No, let Perry answer that question.
To answer that question,
For
Queen,
pay?
some are. Some men are underpaid.
No. Perry, you know what she's saying? She's saying that women comedians get treated differently.
I can agree with that. Yeah, it's harder for women.
Thank you.
No, I get that part, but what I'm saying is, let's set that aside. If we are arguing women's rights, then we could talk about this. We're talking about a woman's contract and a man's contract that's in dispute.
Right. And a promoter that needs to speak up.
Let me stand up. Let me stand up for my girl. This is what Queen is saying. A man could have acted just like that on stage, and y'all would have said, well, he's upset because he thought he was going to headline.
No, he would have been wrong too.
Yeah, he would have been
okay.
Now you can't sit up here and act like there's not a difference.
No, I'm gonna toss this up there for a second. I think it was 4 comedians, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I guess they go by the lesser talent, go first and work their way down. That's why they fighting over the headliner. Did not 2 men go before her?
Is there a point in that, Perry?
No. I'm only saying, what about, look, you acting like the men just taking over.
No, I'm acting like the men get different treatment. Now,
we know this
in
America.
Look,
men get higher paid.
James
Men
Brown
get better treatment than women, and it's always been that way. It's not right.
Man's world.
And it goes, it's always been that way. But I'm not saying
let me read these super chats before I get behind. The promoter was clear. DL is the headliner. The promoter poster had DL the headliner. Her daddy is ruining her. Her daddy. You guys are calling this man daddy. This is not a black man versus woman issue.
Come on, Espar. Come
Monique
on now.
Monique should have not gone on stage until they all came to an agreement. A lot of this is her frustration from feeling like she bowed down. Maybe it is. But Don, what is your opinion on this?
Monique is a talented comedian. Monique is a talented actress. She won an Oscar for being a talented actress. If DL Hughley did not open the Kings of Comedy, Monique would not have been able to close the Queen of Comedy.
Oh, did you just say that? Oh,
let's just put a pin there. Let's just put a pin there. Monique owns the likeness to her face. If Paw did not do his due diligence,
Daddy,
and when they sent the likeness of that poster to him for him to approve that DL Hughley was the biggest picture on that poster and put on that theater for them to approve that, she should not have gone. She should not have signed that contract because she owns the likeness to her face.
Come through.
Paw made a mistake.
Daddy.
Are y'all calling this man daddy? No, Don won't do it, so he calls him Paw.
Yeah. So Paw made the mistake. Nobody owns Monique's likeness but Monique.
Right.
So when they sent over that likeness of that poster, when DL Hughley was the biggest person in the center of that poster, and Monique was to the side, smaller, she should have said, "Wait a minute, I'm not the headliner here."
But Don, it did go down. Okay, so you're saying it was clear from the beginning. DL
it was clear from the beginning,
but somehow it got mixed up.
No, it didn't get mixed up. She had to approve that likeness in the beginning.
Right.
She waited till she got to the stage to get this woman, black woman. Yes, black women are underpaid. We all know that, but that's a bunch of crap. Monique likes to pull this at the end of it. Don't sign the contract when you see your face is not the big headline.
Come on now.
You have to approve your likeness. Nobody owns your likeness. Nobody owns your likeness but you. She owns her likeness.
I don't have a gavel there. But look, this is what you're not answering my question, Don. Please stay on point. Stay on point. My question to you is, there was a mix-up. Doesn't Monique have the right to stand up for herself?
Okay,
she has a right she has a right to stand up for herself at the beginning stages. If you all look at that contract that was signed, that was not from the promoter. That was from Paw's company.
Right. Exactly.
Go ahead, Perry. I cut you off.
No,
Go ahead.
and that's the whole point. And to Queen's point, you know what? Queen should be going after Daddy. That's the man that put Monique in
after Daddy. Oh Lord.
He's the one put Monique in this bad situation. He's overpaid, just like you said. Men getting overpaid. He's getting paid for nothing. What the hell Daddy doing? To mess it up.
Do you feel that Monique's husband, I'm not gonna call him Pawpaw or Daddy.
I'm gonna call him Hat.
Do you think that he did something wrong here?
He messed up.
Pawpaw needs to get a job and get off Social Security.
Oh!
Not Social Security. They pay good to my aunts and uncles. Wait a minute now.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Queen, do you feel that the blame should be laid on
You know what?
Monique's husband?
I want to say this.
Go ahead.
I want to say this. The same thing that make you laugh is going to be the same thing that make you... Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So the same thing that make you laugh is going to be the same thing that make you cry. We got to take it back to Hattie McDaniel when she won an award because blacks couldn't even be in the same room. So we look at it now. Monique won her award. She was able to receive it. Activism don't stop. activism don't stop. And if your mind isn't on activism and women's rights or any rights, period, if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. So I would just say,
but you know what?
get into
Queen, though?
activism.
It's the wrong
Hold on,
thing.
let her finish. Let her finish. Go ahead, Queen.
Get into activism and you'll see how it'll change your life.
What does having anything have to do with Monique having a contract dispute? I'm not understanding that.
Nothing smoke.
Would y'all let her talk? Y'all let her talk.
It's not making sense, Sharrell. I'm sorry. I have to call a thing a thing. It's not making sense to me.
No, smoke. Everybody get a chance.
We're not gonna. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not gonna.
Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead, Queen.
Have come before us. Okay. Let's just say Monique passed tomorrow. We all gonna miss her. We all gonna need somebody to stand up and say something for us. Let's take note and stand up. Stand up for what's right, not for what's popular.
What does that have to do with her having a bad
This is what it has to do. Let me translate. Let me translate, Smoke, what Queen is saying. Queen is saying that we need people like Monique to stand up and voice their opinions. And every time Monique tries to stand up and says something, people try to knock her down or try to make her feel like
need her to stand up.
Sharrell, I was here going toe to toe with Diva about Monique 2-3 months ago about the whole whatever her and Oprah situation being blacklisted. When she's right, she's right. But when she's wrong, she's wrong. The same thing she talks about calling people to the carpet. This is her moment. We're calling her to the carpet.
Gotta call us to the carpet.
Your dispute is not with your brother, like you like to say, or your beloveds. It is with the people who put on the show. And the fact that Monique has been in this game almost 30 plus years and she couldn't see the smoke and mirrors of that and go to the right source, that is where the problem is.
That's where the problem begins and ends. And listen, we need the right face for activism. Where you can't just throw tantrums every time you feel something has went wrong your way. This is a tantrum she's throwing right now. Again, let's hear from this promoter. What's the root cause? The root cause is the contract. Even if you would have spoke to DL, he didn't promote this, so he didn't make himself the headliner. And like he said, the poster had DL there. You know how this goes. And you showed up at the time you showed up because you knew that's the time you were supposed to go on. So you wanted it to be nothing but shenanigans.
Let me say this because I'm gonna bring up a new panel because I got a long
Can I say
line.
one thing to Queen though? I mean, because I love Queen.
Hurry,
I love
hurry.
Queen, being an activist is when you stand up for others. Also, it's not just when you stand up for your own rights. That's his selfishness.
She's standing up for women.
Yeah, and activism has jack crap to do with accountability.
Look, last question before I bring up a new panel, and I'm going to go down the road. I'm going to start with you, Smoke. Is Monique messed up? Is she going to get blackballed again?
She is, and honestly, I feel like I just see it down the road that something's gonna happen between her and 50 on this new project, and then that's gonna be the end of it. She can't control her ego. She just thinks because she has all this awards and has this year, which is relevant. I don't want to take that away from her, but at the same time, you don't see Denzel Washington resting on his laurels. He's always still working, always proving himself, always putting himself out there, and people like to work with him. If people do not like to work with you, I don't care how talented you are. No one, people will put your ass, stay at home with daddy and do what y'all do, and that's it.
Queen, what do you think? Is this leading to more problems for Monique?
I feel like a lot of people is living in Precious vibe or Precious land, and they need to do some cleaning up in their own backyard before they try to come and clean up her backyard. And that's all I have. From Oklahoma.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen. Yeah. Don, is Monique gonna get blackballed again?
I don't. Monique is already blackballed. So like I said when I first came on here, Monique is a very talented comedian. She's a very talented actress. She does her thing, but Monique doesn't know how to control Paw. Monique doesn't know how to control her attitude. You know, it's a time and place. And you have to know how to do things. Yes, you can speak out for your community, but you have to be right before you can speak out.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Smoke. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, guys.
I appreciate the call. Take care, guys. And Smoke, you brought the smoke again.
Yeah, and I'll come for anybody who comes for me.
Okay, thank you. Take care. Let me bring up some new ones. We got, hi, Breezy.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Sean.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. Hi, Kelly.
Hey,
Let's
Hi,
start with
ladies.
Breezy. Breezy,
what are you
can you
doing?
make some sense out of it? Oh, let me read the super chat
Mama?
really quick.
Yeah,
Penny says
listen.
there is a time
I
and
want to
place.
watch on your phone.
What? Oh, hold on. Penny says there is a time and place. It was too late at that point. What are your thoughts, Breezy?
Honestly, I think this was blown all out of proportion by Monique's pettiness. I feel like there might have been a little misunderstanding, and she kind of realized that she just hates DL so much. She just has so much pettiness and rage that she was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this little piece and I'm gonna blow it up and I'm gonna make it something. And now that she sees people are like, damn, you kind of messing up. Now she's trying to make it, oh, I'm fighting for black women, this and that, when
Okay,
really she
slow
just
down,
knows she
Breezy.
messed
Slow
up.
down, Breezy. You're saying that Monique had all intentions of dragging the hell out of DL when she drove up to that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. She
Wow.
and honestly, I feel like she knew. You know how sometimes something messes up before other people know they messed up. I feel like she kind of knew there's some type of miscommunication, and she took it and she ran with it. But now that people are firing back, she's like, "Oh, I did this for black women everywhere."
What are your
But
thoughts,
that's
Sean?
that's just me.
Sean, are you there?
Yes, I'm in a disagreement with everybody that's talking about Monique. I think that she did go there with a motive to address the situation with DL Hughley. But I think the thing is that if they don't mess with each other, they don't mess with each other. So for him to have the ideal or the misconception, he's in another reality by thinking that she's going to come to him and discuss her contract when y'all don't deal with each other. Why would she do that?
Why take a gig with somebody you don't talk to?
She shouldn't have.
Exactly, like that would never be something. If I have an enemy, I'm not gonna come to my enemy and say, "Hey, I got this on my contract. What you got?" No, I'm not gonna do that. So that's unrealistic to even think that they would do that. Number
Right.
two, when you think about old school, because Monique is an old school comedian. So back in the day when you had Bernie Mac and all of them, they would bring issues like that to the stage, go off on the person that they hating against. And that was just the world of comedy. I think we have become so sensitive now that everything is politically correct. Everything has to be politically correct. Back then, when you had Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and all of them, that was raw comedy.
Perry, are you being sensitive? Perry, are you being
No,
sensitive?
no, no. I mean, I agree with she's saying, like the old school comics, but this not about that. And I agree, times have become too sensitive. And so Monique can't go out there and think it's a sensitive time now. I can go off on this man and then want somebody to be sensitive about her contract.
What?
Because no, she do not have to go to DL to discuss her contract. If she don't like him, she don't like him. She should have went to the promoter. And when they call her name, welcome to the stage, Monique. Take your ass out there.
Right,
Just take your ass out there. That's it.
she did go out there and perform, but I think her issue was that Steve Harvey and DL Hughley had already been discussing her. So my thing is, you my enemy, and you sit up here talking about me when I'm not present to represent myself. Yes, I'm gonna drag you behind. I'm gonna put it instead of me trying to do stuff behind closed doors because you didn't have the respect for me to have a conversation about me behind closed doors. So since you didn't have that kind of respect for me, I'm gonna put your stuff out here. You didn't. Now all of a sudden, I need to be respectful and have a conversation with you behind closed doors when you didn't give me that same respect. So no, it is what it is. I'm gonna say what I got to say, and I'm gonna use this platform to do it in my comedy. And that's what a lot of old school comedians did. If they
But
had
you
an
know what
issue
though?
with
In her hour-long live, she contradicts herself if you have that theory, right? Because she even said in her live that she never had an interview about him. She never said anything bad about him. So why bring it to the stage that night? If you want, what you gonna do? You being moral, or you not gonna be moral? You gonna do the right thing, or you gonna do the wrong thing?
but
So
then
with that
but
really
that's
the
like
time,
But
go
that's
ahead.
like you having somebody that you don't like, and you just finding out a few days before that this person was sitting there talking about you, and then y'all see each other at a party. Man, we black,
She been knew
okay?
that.
We black.
She been knew though.
We're not gonna be, oh, I'm Susie, I'm so sorry.
I don't find a contract to do a show with them. She been knew he talked about her on the Lad show. She been knew that she went to his radio show and they tried to play her out. She knew all of this way before she signed that contract.
Right, but I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna not get my coins because you talking about me. I'm not gonna do that. And just like what she did, she went out there and she gave a show. Now, did she drag him? Yes. And everybody can have their opinion on whether she should have used that platform to do it or not. But that's old school comedy. If you had an issue with somebody, I think Bernie Mac had an issue with a comedian and he went off on them in one of his sets. Like, that's what they do. So
Kelly, come through, Kelly. Be the tiebreaker. What's your opinion?
Listen, I'm with the last person who was speaking. I couldn't see her name. Sorry,
Sean.
but first of all, I feel like Bernie Mac was the only person who was funny on the Kings of Comedy. Period. So let's start there.
Okay.
I feel like
you're too on that.
Lee Daniels already admitted he's wrong. So I'm not sure why people keep saying, Lee Daniels, he got to see what, DL got to see what now Lee Daniels went through. What did Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah actually go through? Like, they totally did her bogus. I feel like she's doing the hard work.
Yeah.
Years from now, we're going to thank her when Black actresses making, $1 million per episode or what they're finally worth. We're going to be like, dang, Monique was talking crazy and reckless in 2022, but she made these younger girls feel confident enough not to take crap because, like someone mentioned, Hattie, she won an Oscar and they had her sitting way in the back.
So you're saying that Monique is taking all the punches right now to make things fair for Black women, and she's not just helping herself; she's paving a way.
Absolutely, and I like the Black men. Like,
she's gonna hurt herself in the process.
But that's the someone was saying she's selfish. I think that's what someone was trying to defend and say it's actually the opposite. You have people like Steve Harvey and DL Hughley who have no integrity, who take it from the back door and they sell themselves out so they get a dollar. And
you said DL Hughley has no integrity?
I think DL Hughley, Steve Harvey, the people who are in the forefront, who Hollywood allows to be in the forefront, I think they're sellouts and they're gatekeepers. And
they're not opening doors for anybody else
throw Black people out.
Okay, can I ask
you
you something?
I'm sorry.
How in this particular situation is she paving the way for people? It's a contract issue, right? She's saying that she was supposed to be the headliner. So to me, her fight, if she's really trying to help people, will be with the promoter to say, listen, you gave me a contract saying I was the headliner. I would be dragging the promoter and saying, yo, this promoter who's a male, I don't even know if the promoter is a male or a female. I would have said, this promoter who's a male, he played me out. Of course, he thinks I'm a female. I don't see how the way this situation went down, who she paving the way for, and how she's making it better for female comedians.
Right.
But see, the thing is, it's two different issues, though, and we're trying to combine them into one. It's two different issues. There was an issue with the contract. That is something that, yes, you're right, she should address the promoter on. But then there's the other issue that she had with DL Hughley talking about he giving her a chance and this and that and the other. No, you're not the promoter, so you're not giving me a chance. That's number one. And number two, you decided to set your behind the microphone with Steve Harvey and go off and talk about me. So now I'm going to go ahead and make this thing public. I'm going to deal with you out front.
Sound off really quickly. I gotta wrap it up. Sound off really quickly, Nina.
So my stance on this whole thing with Monique, right? So I still stand by what the hell I said yesterday. So this is the deal. I don't even want to talk about them no more. They getting a Will Smith and a Chris Rock, a whole big old thing. I want to talk about Jada Pinkett's tail. That's who I want to talk about.
Sound off really quickly, Nina, because I gotta do.
I'm sick of her talking about. Listen, this is me. This ain't Sharrell Perry or Diva. I ain't never thought this woman had no damn alopecia. Her hairline is too perfect.
It's
Yep.
too beautiful. I know a lot of people that has alopecia, and I'm
Yep.
experiencing it myself with using weave all my life. You understand? Diva said it one time before what that was, but this is the thing. Don't use that platform to try to say, "Oh, my husband, we're gonna try to get back together. Or whatever they're gonna do, and then we're gonna talk about all these women that's been calling in alopecia." I don't think none of these women that called in to talk to you about their alopecia. I think you reached out. Reached out to them. So now you got don't nobody want to see the red table talk no more. So cause of her. You know what? This is just me. This is just me talking. We ain't want to see you, your mama, and your daughter on the red talk no more. Because
come on,
you know,
preach,
we're
Nita.
done with y'all. So everybody just do what I'm gonna do and not watch the red table talk no more.
Okay. Nina, you just Monique. You just Monique. I came up with a new term. The hell out of Jada.
Yes,
I
she
sure
did.
did because Jada, I'm a nobody to Jada, right? Jada don't care what I say anyway. Just like Monique them don't care what I say. Opinion is just like everything else. We all got them. But the thing about it is, Jada, don't do that now because we ain't caring nothing about you in your mess. We all Will Smith. We all Will Smith when it comes to this marriage. Will Smith, wherever you at, please, baby, stay. I'm gonna do a Monique. Come on, sweet baby. Sweet baby, stay. Don't come back home.
Don't
Honey,
come back home, Will.
Right. You know what I'm
You
saying?
said we're all black. Is that how we do it? Is that how we
do
read?
it. Oh, sweet babies. That's when you know she lying. Get ready to come out with some BS. Oh, sweet babies. I'm down for my black woman. Power to the black woman. Nah, you ain't representing me. And no other comedian coming up behind you. So that's just where I stand. And y'all got the best show on the freaking air. A1 from day one is Sharrell, Perry, and Diva. Boom.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thanks,
love
Nina.
y'all. Bye.
Love you too.
Take care.
Nina. All right. Thank you, Breezy. I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, thanks, Breezy.
If I missed your super chat, I do apologize. Sometimes I don't interrupt the conversation. Melissa says Monique is problematic. She's the common denominator in all of these beefs. It's her and not everyone else. All right, I got to wrap this up because we got to come back with the Johnny Depp thing. We got more detail today, 2 different sides of the story. Let's just hope it ends here. Let's not do this publicly anymore, y'all. Let's just end it here. In the meantime, I got to wrap this up because I'm coming back shortly. I wanted to apologize if I didn't get to your call backstage. I'm completely out of time. I wanted to thank everyone for your super chats. You don't have to support the channel, and you do, so I appreciate it. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to click that like button. It does wonders with my algorithm. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and don't forget to check out Gray Hair Diva channel. All right, y'all, we got it all in. Let's say bye on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bye, guys.